Yes, all right. We are right. Right now we are in live.
Okay.
Okay, we are starting. So, dear audience and well wishers, welcome to our events. Today's event is a journey of PhD in Japan, organized by Tales of PhD. Now, we have a very special guest to share with us his amazing experience. He is Mr. Shaikul Islam. Let me tell a bit about his profile. Shaikul Islam has recently been awarded the PhD in molecular biology and biotechnology from the United Graduate School of Agricultural Science from Ehime University, Japan. And in 2017, he received the prestigious MET scholarship from the government of Japan's Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology for conducting his doctoral study. He completed his bachelor and master program from Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Agricultural University in Bangladesh. After graduation, he joined as a lecturer, Department of Plant Pathology at the Exim Bank Agricultural University, Bangladesh, and served there until December 2016. And currently, he is working on mediated genome editing of the trifoliate orange. So let's welcome to Mr. Shaikul to our show. Shaikul bhai, welcome to our show.
Thank you for a nice introduction and also for inviting me in this session.
Okay, thank you very much. Shaikul bhai, as I'm host of this event, so the audience will not actually participate here to listen to me. Rather, they will eagerly waiting. They will be eagerly waiting for you. What is your journey story? What is your experience in Japan, and how did you come up with the successful application process for getting the next scholarship to continue your doctoral study in Japan? So before moving on, the main part of the scholarship point, let me ask you one thing for our audience to make it clear about yourself. Can you please tell us a bit more about your education, research, and professional responsibilities, please? Shaikul bhai, can you hear
Thank
me?
you.
Yep.
Actually, after finishing my bachelor degree in agriculture from, as you have already said, from Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Agriculture University, I started my master's in Department of Plant Pathology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, actually?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Actually, after my bachelor in agriculture, I started my master's in plant pathology. And during my master's, I was working on Department of Plant Pathology. Okay, thank you. Okay. Then after during my master's, I was working on biocontrol of plant diseases. My research was focused on endophytic microbes, which can augment plant growth and also suppress phytopathogens. And actually, during my master's, I get this how to say, this fascination to continue my career, research career. And honestly, my supervisor, also my professors, they have a deep influence on it, because I was lucky actually, because when I joined in master's program, my supervisor, honorable supervisor, he also finished his PhD from Japan. His is Dr. Mohammad Muthar sir, and he always encouraged me to pursue my research, and always he has a positive impression about continuing PhD in Japan. And again, my university, actually, it was established by a Japanese JICA, Japanese donor organization. So I am the second batch of Faculty of Agriculture, and
Mm-hmm.
from there, from the inspiration my supervisor, and also the way they contribute in our country in agriculture, and those who finish PhD and when they return to Bangladesh, and their contribution, their skill, and how to say, their overall current position, also their contribution, all this encouraged me to pursue my career in research and work in academia. And then when I joined in Exim Bank Agriculture University, uh, I was applying for different positions, but uh, to get PhD in Japan, actually it's a research PhD.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow publications is important. Having publication from previous research was important, and
Mm-hmm.
also not in all a Japanese university need IELTS, but in my case, I finished my PhD. It's called special 3 years doctoral program. So here, somehow IELTS is mandatory in my university.
Mm.
So
And
uh,
what was the score?
my
What was the
uh,
recommended score?
overall band was 7 in IELTS.
Okay, pretty good.
Uh, but in Japan, I think even a little bit less score would also okay. 6 to 6.5 should be okay
All
uh,
right.
for this the program I came.
Okay. Shakil Bhai, there is a question to you from our audience panel. The question is, when and why did you think to start your PhD degree journey? Why in Japan?
Okay, as I said, like choosing Japan was kind of uh, because having this perception, you see, and
Mm,
the research culture in Japan is really advanced, and uh, from the very beginning, I mean, it's kind of many of my seniors did PhD in Japan. Also, my uh, teachers or supervisors, and also while I was doing masters, uh, I get the opportunity to volunteer in a program. It's the International Symposium. Um, One of my honorable teachers, Professor Tabajul Islam sir, he was the general secretary, and he gave us the scope to volunteer there. And there I meet like all the, like, how to say, the giants of Bangladesh. They were in that program, and all of them did PhD in Japan. So this I get this inspiration or fascination for Japan. I think, and also uh, uh, how to say, from the very beginning of our country Bangladesh, like you see, we have a good relation in Japan, and
mhm,
while applying in different Japanese university, actually I know about this supervisor, my current supervisor, from my one of my senior who was already doing PhD in this lab, Dr. Shamim
mhm,
Akhtar. He is now doing postdoc in Hokkaido. He kindly introduced me, I contact with him, and I find that my research interest and also the scope of this laboratory match. So that's why I applied, and somehow the professor was convinced, and we
mm.
developed this research proposal, and
All right.
I get this scholarship.
All right. That's fine. That sounds great. Another question might be from audience panel. That is, can you please share any interesting experience during your study in Japan? I mean, do you have any interesting story in your PhD journey? I mean, gossiping with foreign friends, going somewhere else to look on, or hang out somewhere else in Japan. So, is there any interesting story?
Yeah, actually, there are few or so many. I can mention some of them.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about Japan is what I learned, that here maybe everybody knows their timeliness and hardworking nature,
Mm-hmm.
and also like they want to be really precise about everything. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe sometimes in our country we are somehow habituated to say something like approximately, or we frequently use the word maybe while we talk. Like we are not always very precise. But this
Mm,
was the not interesting, but kind of challenge I faced in Japan. Like while I
mm,
interact with the Japanese friend or even with my professor, I use maybe a lot. But at some point, somehow they don't like it very much and want me to be really precise. Like if I need
okay.
something or ask something, and have to be really precise. And another thing I faced, like in Japan, they don't talk much. My even my Japanese friend or my colleagues in my lab, they don't talk much. Actually, the
Mm,
ice breaking should be done by me, the international student here. And
okay.
because the thing is, like you are working in the lab, and maybe the postdoc or bachelor student or master student, those who are working, or another PhD Japanese student, Japanese PhD student. Because thing
Mm,
is, in Japan, the society is really vertical, and
mm,
they strictly maintain the senior junior relationship. So maybe they will think that if they say something, maybe it will hurt your feelings. So thing
mm,
is, always you have to take the initiative to always ask the first question, that should you do something and should short you should not do. And this was a challenge for me
mm,
because when I came join this lab, for 3 months I find one senior from India. He did his PhD and did his postdoc here, Dr. Shochin, and he was a really good friend of mine and really helped me, but only for 3 months. So
mm,
challenge was there was no other international student here, so I have to interact with the Japanese people, and I
mm.
cannot speak Japanese. And so Japan, interesting story or experience. Like they have so many festival in Japan
Yeah.
and so many holidays, I think. And and the most interesting for me was the hanami. It's called, that is the cherry blossom. It's really nice.
Mm,
And Japan, you can clearly distinguish four seasons: summer,
mm.
then uh, rainy season, then winter and spring. Very
Spain.
distinct and really colorful. I mean, they will plant the flowering trees in such a manner that you can distinguish. So
Mm,
this was really nice for me to participate this kind of programs or New Year festival like this.
okay.
They have so
So
many festival, and
yeah.
yeah, it was
So,
nice.
yeah. Let me ask you one thing. In my
And
case, when yeah, in my
another
case when
thing,
I
like in Japan, it's kind of, I think, mainly Buddhism, for if you see the religion, but mostly they don't talk much about religion. Like in our country, somehow we are like Muslim majority, but and also somehow we are serious, but they don't talk much about religion. What in the very first day when I reached Japan, the
uh, I'm sorry, audience. Maybe there is something technical problem. Our guest is not been here, so let me give me some time to reconnect him, please. Shaikul bhai, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
connection was disrupted. Really sorry.
yes, yes, yes. No problem, no problem. Please carry on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The thing I was saying that the very first day when I reached Japan, my professor received me from the bus stop. Uh, so first of all, we get introduced, and after some time, he asked me very interesting question. He asked me that what type of Muslim are you? So I was bit of surprised and uh, how should I answer? I was wondering. Then I said, Shenshi, maybe I am very serious Muslim. Then he said, okay. Then he somehow changed the topic. So when I reached that Indian student, Sachin San, he received me and he was
Mm-hmm.
very kind to me. But what I realized that my lab mates, they somehow they don't feel comfortable to interact with me. I mean, even
Mm-hmm.
as I said, I have to ask them something. They become uneasy or not comfortable. So I did not realize that what is wrong. So what happened
Mm-hmm.
actually? My professor they called all the other lab mates that he said that Shaikul is very serious Muslim. I mean, maybe he thought some extreme. I believe in some extreme point of view or something like that. That
Okay.
when you talk with him, be very careful or something like that. So when I realize this thing, then I have to make him clear that I am just practicing Muslim. Of course, I pray 5 times a day, but I don't believe in
Mm-hmm.
extreme point of view. So this was the
I
kind
see.
of communication gap, or because of the language barrier, or I mean, my professor he
Mm-hmm.
can speak very nice English, but still,
Mm-hmm.
uh, this kind of communication gap can happen. And then I try to in a lab party actually in Japan, the lab culture is like they frequently will have parties, maybe
Mm-hmm.
monthly parties, and so there I try to explain them, and gradually it become easy for me.
I see. I
But
see. Okay. That's nice.
normally they are
Nice.
very kind people. So if you talk with them, and they will help. Really polite and kind
Okay.
people, I think.
Nice. Okay. Shakil bhai, there is another question from audience panel, which is how important it is to pursue a foreign degree as an academician. Does it give any added benefits in future career? I mean, if I just break it down, these questions in simple format, as because you are also an academician, so I mean, how important it can be. I mean, how many benefits it will be added by pursuing a PhD from any other foreign university in your
Actually, of
academic career.
course, yeah,
Hmm.
thank you. Actually, of course, I could have done my PhD in my own university and
Hmm.
also in Bangladesh. But I think why this is important to pursue a foreign degree. Actually, here, as I said, that there is some cultural difference. There are students from like all over the world, from European countries, even some African countries, also some other Asian countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, and here we get the opportunity to interact with them and learn from them. And actually, PhD, I think I like the title of our discussion that you said it is journey. I also believe that
Hmm.
it's not just putting dr dot in front of our name. So it's a journey,
Hmm.
and it's a journey, and which will help us to uh, uh, learn from our day-to-day experience. And this is possible when we pursue our degree in a foreign country, not only Japan, like Australia, Canada, USA. There are many Bangladeshi students, they pursue their degree, and and maybe this will be helpful for all of our life, because along with doing our research, there are so many things we have to manage. Like it significantly will enhance the problem solving ability, I think, and also analyzing ability. I mean, we have to work in the lab. Like in Japan, the research work is really intensive. Still, we have to maintain this work life balance. Again,
Hmm.
we have to maintain our day to day life. Like in Bangladesh, I have never cooked in my home, but I have to do cooking in Japan, and there are so many new things will come to your life
Yeah.
that is only possible when you pursue a PhD in Japan. and there will be, of
All
course,
right.
some ups and downs. It's a roller coaster. So definitely, if you consider the life perspective, then foreign degree is helpful. And for career as well, if you see that the type of research we conduct in these foreign countries, the type of facility they have, maybe still not available in our country. So of course it will add a benefit
Mm-hmm.
that you have some advanced skill, which will be helpful to get a job. And also, I think today's world, we need two weapons to our life. One thing is information that we can
Mm-hmm.
learn from our study, and another is communication, networking. And this can be done
Yep.
when you go outside of your country. That's why I think this
Yep.
is
True. True.
important, having a foreign degree.
Yeah. True. Shakil bhai, so you have the ability to cook food. So is it beneficial to you, or in near future you can put yourself in your life you can just find yourself
You know,
in
yeah, no, actually, uh, no, I don't have any plan to start a cooking business or food business. But yeah, I
Okay.
mean, cooking is like for myself is very simple. Add
Mm-hmm.
some spices, and if the meat or fish is boiled, then you can eat it. Taste doesn't matter. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a nice thing to learn cooking.
All right. So, Shaikul bhai, are you married or single
No,
right
it's
now?
still single. Yeah,
Okay. All
actually,
right.
I
So,
live in a
it,
dormitory. I live in a dormitory in Japan.
all
So
right. So,
single.
you can cook well. You can cook well. So, it might be a great news for our upcoming sister-in-law.
Yeah, publicity is important.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. It's a good publicity. Yeah. Saiful bhai, moving on, our actually the main point, question from audience panel, that is, tell us about something about MEX scholarship process and what are the benefits of this scheme. Since you are the MEX scholarship
Okay, thank you.
and you are doing your PhD program.
Yeah, actually, for from Bangladesh, we can apply two types or mixed scholarship. One is from university recommended or professor recommended, and another is embassy recommended. So I came here from a professor recommendation or university recommended mixed scholarship. Uh,
Mhm.
I do not know much detail about the embassy recommended, but maybe you have to take part in an exam. Generally, it will be held. The exam will be held in both Japanese and English. So perhaps from the, how to say that, embassy recommended mixed scholarship, uh,
Mhm.
you can maybe apply for master's program as well, I think, but I'm not sure about the
Mhm.
detail. But in my case,
Mhm.
the university recommended or professor recommended mixed scholarship, the challenge is I have to come to directly to PhD, and I have to
Mhm.
finish my PhD within 3 years. uh, and also I have to publish two manuscripts from my thesis. This is the condition.
Okay.
I mean, before I give my PhD defense, I need two
Mm.
letter of acceptance for the publication. So I think if anybody apply for mixed, it is more beneficial to come to doing masters, or at least
Mm.
remain for 1 year research student, then start PhD, because the how to say, the academic culture or also the research culture is totally different from our country. And
Mhm.
sometimes the big challenge I faced, like I have to extend 6 months my PhD,
Mhm.
because the second manuscript was delayed because of this COVID situation.
Mhm.
And publishing two manuscripts in Japan from PhD thesis within 3 years could be a big challenge, because we can work maximum 2.5 years, because to publish one manuscript, it could take up to 6 months. So
Right.
I think if anybody apply for the MEX scholarship, somehow it will be better if somebody do some previous research work in Japan. So
Mhm.
for me, the way I applied, I have to contact with the professor. Then the professor will have an interview, ask me some questions about my previous research, and also uh, how to say, I have to submit a short research proposal.
Mm-hmm.
That proposal was not final, but somehow maybe it was helpful for the professor to evaluate my skill, writing skill, or my motivation to continue my PhD. Then finally, we submitted the proposal to the ministry, and it was accepted. Then I came to Japan. And in my case, IELTS was mandatory. But maybe in some other program, like they don't need IELTS in some of the Japanese universities, I think.
Okay, all right. So, Shakib bhai, what was the process of your formal interview? I mean, was it on Skype? Was
It
it
was
on? Mhm. Go ahead, please.
No, it was in written like a kind of open book exam, you can say. They send me the questions and give me like about 48 hours. Within this time, I have to give reply. The questions was
Was it?
like this. That
Yep.
sorry,
Was it
please,
online?
please.
Yeah. Was the interview in over the online, or you were in
Online
Japan?
means no. I was in Bangladesh. It was online. Like
Okay.
they send me, they email me the
Mhm.
questions, and
Okay.
actually three professor took the exam.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is my supervisor and two other co-supervisors. They took
Mm-hmm.
the exam, and how to say, like the questions was like this, that uh, to make a summary of my previous master's research. Then they asked me some specific question related to my current PhD project.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did my PhD in molecular biology, and my work was mostly on bioinformatics or RNA-seq or transcriptome analysis. And my focus was to elucidate the mechanism of virus, how virus infect plants, and the mechanism of virus-induced chlorosis, or how plant virus damage the plant. So the question was
Mm-hmm.
related to my subject matter. Then also there are some questions that some of them are very interesting for me. That one of the question was like this: that when you came to Japan, if you find
Mm-hmm.
that your professor is making some mistake, you
Mm-hmm.
realize that your professor is totally wrong, how you will handle the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Then again another question was that in Japan, like the research culture is really intensive. Maybe you have to work so many hours in the lab. So how you will maintain the work-life balance? This
Mm-hmm.
kind of tricky questions they ask me.
Right. All right.
And
Shakib bhai, what are the
and
benefits?
maybe
What are the
based on the
benefits?
answer they give some marking, and finally
All right. Shakib bhai, what are the benefits a mixed scholar can give? I mean, in terms of monetary benefits,
benefits,
accommodation.
I mean, uh, for mixed scholarship, you don't have
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
Yes, please.
Okay, for mixed scholarship, the the scholar will receive about 1 lakh 40,000 is 1,45,000 Japanese yen, and they
Mm-hmm.
the ministry will also pay the uh, tuition fee. You don't have to pay the tuition fee, and that's all, because you have to manage your living expense within this 1,45,000 yen. And for housing,
Mm-hmm.
uh, university in the beginning, university will give you dormitory if you need, or also they have some
Mm-hmm.
international house or international dormitory. There you can live with your family if you have wife or kids or something like that. You can
Mm-hmm.
live with your family, and also if you like, you can live in an apartment, but that would be a bit expensive, I think,
Okay. All right.
because the house
So,
rent and also the electricity bill, these are relatively higher in Japan.
mhm. Okay. So, can you please share with us the cost of living if just any candidate wanted to hire a private house outside of the dorm? I mean, what can be the cost, deposit, security money to hire a single room or a couple room? Is it very expensive, or it can be
Mm,
managed by the amount of given by this Metz scholar?
Yeah, you can manage within the scholarship, but maybe you have to sacrifice something. You cannot expend much some other like recreation or some other purpose. But yeah, it's possible to manage. Like I live in a kind of rural area. It's not in a big city. The name of my city is maybe relatively higher. Rent a apartment maybe how about 25 to 30,000 Japanese yen, and
Mm-hmm.
by including the electricity bill or other gas bill or other bills, it may be about 35 to 40,000 yen should be enough, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe and about the deposit, actually my idea is not very clear because from the beginning I'm living in a dormitory, and it is very cheap compared to
Mm-hmm.
other apartment. It's relatively cheap. Like I have to pay only, in the beginning it was 12,000 Japanese yen as a rent, and but now it has reduced to 10,000. So but it is really how to say not very common, because the
Mm-hmm.
dormitory I live is mainly for Japanese student,
Okay.
but somehow my professor helped me to get this. But for an apartment it should be about I think 30 to 35,000 Japanese yen per month.
All right. Shaikul bhai, another issue that is quite important issue. I mean, the question is, do every universities in Japan have the ability to offer the mixed scholarship by the university recommendation? I mean, every university in
I
Japan.
think
Yeah, please go ahead.
I don't think so, because before I am right now in AIM University. Before coming to AIM University, I tried to contact with another professor. It's called Nara Institute of Science and Technology, but they could not
Mm-hmm.
recommend me because this institute, they do not have MOU between uh, my previous university and them. So to recommend someone, maybe the Japanese university and the university from where I graduated should have a MOU. Then they can
Mm-hmm.
recommend me for the scholarship.
All right. And
And
I mean,
another thing is, sorry,
yeah,
yeah,
yes. Another question is
okay.
how I mean, how much ability of a professor to offer a mixed scholar individually? Is there any ability of a professor, or it's just all about the decision of administration of a university? I mean, do any professors can have the sole ability or power to control over the best scholarship to whom they might provide or to whom they might not provide, or it is just controlled by the university administration?
Uh, sorry,
Yeah, it's okay, no
actually,
problem.
I think the professor are independent in Japan because if the professor decide that he will recommend the student, I think that is kind of the final decision, and university staff will just help to support. Of course, they have a committee, admission committee, but in Japan, mostly it dependent on the professor. If the professor is convinced that your background and your proposal is sufficient to receive the next scholarship, then he will recommend you, and
Mm,
somehow the university authority will also support it. So it mostly
okay,
depend on the professor.
okay, that's right. So Shaikul bhai, we are just taking 1 minute break,
Okay,
uh, and we'll come back again.
okay.
Shaikul Bhai, please. Shaikul Bhai, we will start again by this question. Is the scholarship opportunity quite difficult in Japan? And what might be the common criteria for that? Though you have already said about the common criteria. I mean, let's talk about, is the scholarship opportunity quite difficult in Japan? Shaikul Bhai, please unmute yourself, please first. Please unmute yourself first.
Sorry.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Now we can. Yeah. Now I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Actually, I don't think the scholarship is very difficult. Of course, it's not easy, but every year, like when I came, there was about 160, 170 students who came to Japan. Every year, many Bangladeshi students are coming to Japan. So I don't think it's very difficult. But if you have this minimum criteria, you can get the scholarship. And other than maths, there are a few scholarship also available, like ADB Japan scholarship, and also uh, there are some students who came in Japan without scholarship. They also can get some other scholarship as well. But there is another scholarship called Rotary. But to get this scholarship, maybe you need some Japanese skill.
Mhm.
So yeah, not easy, but there is scope for scholarship. And also in Japan, if somebody has a little bit of language skill, and they can also do some part-time job and also continue their study. But yeah,
Mhm.
compared to European countries or USA, I would say it's a bit difficult because of this language barrier. And
Mhm.
but it is possible, I think, and not uh, extremely difficult, but somehow not easy actually.
All right.
But it's possible to
So
get this scholarship when you have this minimum criteria.
yeah, I mean, nothing is free actually. For achieving something else, someone might have to put some extra effort and might have to prove
Yeah,
his or himself or herself to be
yeah,
unique
yeah,
among
yeah.
all of the
Actually,
common candidates. It is this is the natural steps. This is the natural things to do. Yeah,
yeah,
true. Shaikul Bhai, another issue is that question from
it's
audience
a
panel.
natural thing for any scholarship. This is true for any scholarship because, and one thing is like in my experience. Oh, okay.
Question is that please tell us something about the Japanese student visa process as per
Okay,
your
please.
experience, and how do a student can do that without any agent? Did you face any difficulties regarding your visa processing?
Okay, maybe the question is about Japanese visa process.
Yes, yeah, Japanese student visa processing. Yeah, based on your experience.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Actually, before going to the next question, I am to add something from the previous one. Actually, when I was
Mhm.
applying in Japanese, different Japanese universities, like, yeah. Okay. Before going to visa experience, I want to say something about the previous question, that the scope of Japanese scholarship. I mean, the Japanese professor, if you see their response rate is relatively lower than other countries' professor, like Australian professor or Canadian professor. Generally, they give a response very easily. But in my experience, like some of the Japanese professor, they do not respond all the email, maybe only in case they find the profile of the applicant suitable for their lab. So I think
Mhm.
we need to continue applying while we are looking for a scholarship. We have to apply so many, send so many email on a regular lead so that we can get the response. And about the visa process, actually, the visa process in Japan, I don't think is very difficult, or I do not need any agent. Actually, when I get this scholarship, they the university gave me a letter of acceptance, and when I submit my visa application, I get my visa within 7 days, I think. So
Mm-hmm.
the range is seven to
Okay.
10 days. You can get the visa. So I don't think anyone need any agent or something. And the Japanese embassy is will give the visa, and somehow they are very cooperative. So I don't face any difficulties getting the
All
visa.
right. And how about the weather in Japan? I mean, actually, we are from tropical area. We have the tropical weather, and we are
Yeah.
accustomed to adopt a very mild weather. Either it might be winter or summer, but when we will move on extreme weather, like in Canada or Minnesota in United States, then there is often complaint by actually the new students that because that is they're not being able to adopt the uh, adverse weather actually. So what about your experience? Did you face any
Yes.
difficulties
Yes.
to adjust the weather at the first time in Japan?
Actually, as I said before, I live in Japan. You see, it's a long country. I mean, very long. It's an island, and some part of Japan, like Hokkaido or Kyoto, their weather is very
Mm-hmm.
extreme. They have a very how to say, very cold winter, like maybe minus 50, minus 20, minus 30 even. But the
Mm-hmm.
place I live, here the weather is very similar to Bangladesh. I think the in during winter for maybe 7 to 10 days, the temperature will be 0 degree or below zero, but maybe not less than minus. The lowest I have faced that is -7, but uh, they have a kind of mild winter. So for me, it was relatively easy to cope up with the situation. But in some part of Japan, like Hokkaido or Kyoto, or even Tokyo, there will be some snowfall. So maybe in that part, it is really difficult. But for me, I was lucky that
Very
the
difficult.
weather, the place I live, is somehow similar to
I
Bangladesh.
see. I see. That's fine. Shakil
Not
bhai,
very
how about the
extreme actually.
yeah,
The
yes.
winter or the summer
Now,
somehow it was possible to cope up with.
all right. So now, how about the working opportunity as a student in Japan? I mean, some country like if I talk about my experience in my in China, no students are allowed. I mean, no foreign students are allowed to work. It is totally illegal. But in case of Japan, what is the scenario? Is
Oh,
it
oh no.
partially accepted, or they will not be able to do any sort of work? How about the process of working outside of the campus in case of student?
Okay, actually, it depends. Actually, uh, for mixed scholars, generally you are not allowed to work outside the campus.
Mm-hmm,
For mixed scholarship holders, because we get the living expense from the Japanese government, and
mm-hmm,
again, it is expected that the student will spend most of the time in the lab. But for me as well, I came to Japan in October
mm-hmm,
2017. From just 1 month later, I was working as a teaching assistant in my lab.
mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
we can work inside the university if the professor allow. And also for them, even for the mixed scholarship holders, with the permission of the professor, that if he give you permission that I have to, my living expense is bit higher, I have a family, wife or kid, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe I think 20 or 28 hour per month you are allowed to, per week, I am not sure.
Per week.
So
Okay.
with the permission of the professor, you can work outside the campus. And for other case, if you do not have a scholarship, the university will allow you to work outside the campus. But the challenge is the language barrier.
All right.
The language barrier, I mean, you must know Japanese, or at least
Mm-hmm.
become familiar with the Japanese language. You can do some courses because the language course is free in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
For industrial student, they have some opportunity for 6 month course, which is I think free. So I think many students they come to Japan and they can work outside.
All right.
And
So, Shaikul bhai, in your case, you started as you started the part-time work as a teaching assistant or research
yes, yes,
assistant at
hmm,
your own lab. So,
yes, yes,
did you get any extra
yeah,
incentive
yeah,
doing the TA or
yeah, yeah,
How about it? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
what could be
They
the
give the
amount of
money
that?
or per hour basis.
Mhm.
So in my case, I think it was about 1,300 Japanese yen. It is the standard, I think. Even if you go outside, maybe this is the amount you will get, 1,000 yen, or sometime even some are less than 1,000 yen, 800 yen, or like this. So
Is
they give
it?
some extra money if you work
I
as
see.
TA
I see. Is it per hour or per month? 1,000 and some
per hour.
per hour.
Per hour.
Okay.
Per hour, 1,300 Japanese yen.
I see. So how long? I mean, how many hours you were used to do as a teaching assistant or research assistant in your
Mm,
lab?
Actually, it depends because in the beginning in my lab, as I said before, I was the only interested student. So
Hmm.
my professor has three courses. So I have to work for maybe per week. It was about uh, 10 hours, 10 to 12 hours per week. Uh,
Hmm.
but gradually, when there are some other students joined our lab, it was reduced. So maybe
Okay,
on average, I would say about 8 to 10 hours per week.
I see. Okay, so now moving on, another issue about the permanent residency. Is there any probability by the PhD scholars after graduating themselves to? Is it easy? Is it very easy or very difficult to get a permanent residency in Japan?
I think compared to European countries is little bit difficult because
Hmm.
you have to have a permanent position in Japan at least maybe for 6 years. Visa process is not very clear to me because I have not uh, already analyzed, but at least 6 years you need a permanent position in Japan uh,
Hmm.
because the duration of the PhD will not be counted, I think, because
I see.
right now I am just a student. I do not hold a
Hmm.
permanent position, a permanent job. So for getting the uh, permanent residency or citizenship, you need to live in Japan continuously, maybe for six
Hmm.
years. And this getting this permanent position is there are available job in Japan, I think, so many job, but basic challenge is this
The
language barrier.
languages.
Japanese
Hmm.
language
Okay.
is not very easy, but possible. Maybe some people learn, but it is difficult to learn this language. At least for me, it is very difficult.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can understand.
I think, yeah, yeah. Compared to European countries, getting a permanent residency, I would say, bit difficult in Japan.
Okay. All right. So, Shaikul bhai, how
But
about
it's
your
possible
future plan?
if you get a job, then
Hmm. All right. So now, how about your
actually
future
I have
plan?
just finished my PhD, and in fact, my I have visa and until the so. If I wish, I can continue this research fellow position, the currently I hold. But I am planning to return to my country because I came to Japan in 2017, and it's already been 3.5 years. I am continuously staying in Japan, so I am to return,
Hmm.
and maybe I leave this position, current position, and uh, try to get a job in Bangladesh. And also, I have a plan to continue postdoc, but the in Japan, the most one of the most popular postdoctoral position or postdoctoral option is JSPS. But
Hmm.
the problem is in my lab, the professor do not allow or the university do not allow that I cannot continue my postdoc JSPS fellowship from the same lab or the same university
I see.
because preference is given if I change the university or change the lab. So
Mm-hmm.
I am trying to contact or communicating different professors. Maybe I
I
also
see.
apply for the postdoc,
Okay. So Shaikul bhai, are
because
you
the advantage
aware
is
about?
getting a
Yeah. Are you?
sorry. I
Do you
mean
know?
for
Yeah. Do you know
please
about
sorry.
the? Yeah. Do you know about the benefits of postdoctoral scholarship in Japan?
For JSPS, for JSPS, it is maybe about money is good. The money
Mm-hmm.
is about I think more than 3 lakh yen, 3,30,000
Mm-hmm.
or maybe, and also the research scope is much better, I think. Uh, for example, like there are more advanced research in postdoc, and also there is some options like if you continue postdoc, maybe JSPS have some option that can lead to faculty positions in Japan. JSPS
Okay. That's
fellowship leading to faculty. There is some options. So I think yeah, scope is good in for postdoc.
all right. That's pretty good. Sounds nice. Shaikul bhai, we are just wrapping up our event today. We will pick up just only one question from our audience panel. What will be your suggestions to our young scholars?
I think those who pursue PhD, I think the reason I uh, want to continue my PhD, it should be for like someone's own passion that I did some study and I want to learn more about this. And of course, the it should help me in my career, and just like if I came to Japan or continue my PhD just to that it will be helpful my career. Maybe it can cause some stress and too much stress. And rather than
Mm-hmm.
this, if somebody follows someone own passion, like if I fall in love whatever I'm doing, then maybe it will be more beneficial. So if somebody decide to pursue PhD, it should be like to learn more about it and to gain some experience, uh, which will have which will be helpful for the career as well as uh, somebody can enjoy if whatever we are doing
Mm-hmm.
out of love or out of passion. So for
Mm-hmm.
young scholars or newcomers, I would suggest to follow their passion and decide. And before choosing the lab, choosing the supervisor is very important. So if they have the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity or the scope to previously gain some knowledge about the supervisor from the former alumni, it should be helpful for them. And
Mm-hmm.
like this, I think if they plan their study and prepare, then they can also pursue PhD, which
Yeah.
would be a wonderful journey.
Yeah, sounds great. Shaikul bhai, now we have to wrap up our event. We are almost running out of the time. So thank you very much for joining with us today. And you have given such important informations that will be, I damn sure, and that will be that will be actually beneficial to our audience, especially who are preparing themselves to pursue their PhD program in Japan, especially. So you provided informations about the mixed scholarship and the application process. I think supervisor can play a very vital role in this case. So emailing, facing a formal interview, and what exactly you have suggested. So I think audience today, they can have a very warmly beneficial informations they have actually achieved in this event, and their participation and preparations will be one step ahead from this live show. So, well, last but not the least, you are most welcome, and I hope you will do better in your future career. And
So
from tales of PhD, a lot of good wishes for you. So I think I mean very soon we will get you in another topic for another purpose. Until or unless, please take care of yourself
So,
Please be well and fine.
okay, thank you so much for taking the initiative to inviting me for this session. And for me, it was also really enjoyable. And I also wish you good luck and for
Thank
your
you.
this Tales of PhD initiative. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.